There is no better time to be watching baseball than October. MLB Postseason is officially underway with 8 teams left in the bracket. Between comebacks and upsets, this postseason is unpredictable to say the least. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Bieling, joined by Isabella Sposato and Bryan Portney. This year, there are teams coming out of left field and surprising us all. As of right now, the divisional odds are favoring the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Phillies. But this past weekend showed us that these favorable teams will still be fighting for their spot to qualify for the ALCS and NLCS. Isabella, I'll start with you. Who do you have your eye on right now?
Right now, I have my eye on the Yankees. They are chasing their 28th title, and they are facing a team that historically they would beat, but this time the Royals are giving them a run for their money. They're about to tie the series 1-1. So basically, the Yankees and the Royals are in a tight race right now for advancing to the ALCS, and right now, the first game, they have a history in the record of most lead changes in a game. It was just back and forth, back and forth. 6-5 was the result of the Yankees, but the Yankees have an amazing team. The lineup is great. We got Juan Soto, we got 3 rookies, Austin Wells, Lewis Heel, and Ben Rice, who have all just had their time and made an amazing impact on the team. Juan Soto with 41 home runs and just an amazing season as a first-time Yankee player. Of course, Aaron Judge as the captain. He's the captain for a reason. He has a .322 batting average with almost 60 home runs. He was at home run number 58 in the season. Almost broke his record. You can't get any better than that.
Well, a team that has surprised me certainly is the Detroit Tigers. They've gone with this sort of pitching strategy where you have Tariq Skubal and then you have a kind of randomness for a bunch of the time, and then you got just kind of a lot of figuring things out. In June, they were, I think one of their own players were saying they're one of the worst teams in baseball, and then they came back, made a huge surge. It was really low odds, and then they came back. And now that they're in the playoffs, and they split the series so far with the Guardians, they're my Cinderella pick to make the World Series. So right now, I think that's really what they're doing. They have the guys rolling. It's just about the team effort, playoff baseball in October. That's how the Tigers are rolling right now.
Yeah, I have to say I've been surprised by the Mets. They had an incredible comeback this season. As you mentioned, one of their players actually said that they were on the worst team in baseball at the end of May. So it was amazing the way they have come back from this. With this being said, which teams were you not expecting to make it to postseason play?
I'm just very shocked by the Tigers. They are coming off of a 10-year drought of not even making the playoffs. The last time they made an appearance was at the ALDS in 2014. Now they have a chance to get past that. And let's just say for the first half of the season, it was a bit rough. They did, at the MLB deadline, they were considered sellers because they were just trading their whole team at this point. There was injuries and players that were worth basically giving up to them. And they even traded their best pitcher, Jack Flaherty, to the Dodgers conveniently. And basically they got new players, they settled, and the second season, unbelievable. They came back, they got into the wild card, they beat 3-0 to get into the ALDS, which is unbelievable. I will also say the Royals were not expecting. They did win the World Series in 2015, but they weren't really doing their best afterwards until they got into the ALDS as well, now beating the Orioles. And Bobby Wood Jr., he's just running the show at this point. I believe that they wouldn't be here at the playoffs if it wasn't for him. I mean, he's had an incredible season. He has incredible stats right now. He's in basically the 20-20 club, 20 stolen bases and 20 home runs in the past 3 seasons. He's the first MLB player to ever do that. And with more stats coming in, he's got 200 runs, 100 hits, 40 doubles, 30 home runs, 10 triples, and 30 stolen bases within the same year. Absolutely incredible. He is for sure an MVP candidate, and he wouldn't have it any other way. I will also say the Mets are overall this #1 surprise. Usually they mess up games. They're very much surprising the Phillies fans right now with how much they're fighting for that NLCS spot. And they were off to a rocky start, obviously, but overall they're just having a great season. They are tied with the Phillies 1-1, which is insane for the Mets and, of course, the Mets fans. And let's just see if they don't mess up, because they are known to do that.
Well, I will say the Mets are on fire right now, but after a back-and-forth game, too, the Phillies have made efforts to extinguish that. Now we saw Zach Wheeler's 7-inning shutout performance, which I had forecasted Jeff Hoffman in the bullpen to kind of crash and burn that. And then, Christopher Sanchez in Game 2, it was more of a bullpen approach, team-focused. So what will we see from Aaron Noel maybe is more Game 1, more Game 2. That's really the question. But also talking now, moving over still in the NL, about the San Diego Padres. So at the end of the regular season, they were 5-5 in the last 10, and then they beat an injury-battered Braves twice in a row, swept them in the wild card, came back, and now they are up 1-1 with the Dodgers. You got Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, and Xander Bogaerts. Really those four, and as well Jackson Merrill. Just a lot of different contributors in San Diego. The slump seemingly stopped when the season turned into October. So that's what I got to say about the Padres right now. They're definitely a surprise candidate.
And now the Fall Classic is just around the corner. I definitely want to see New York in there, but who do you guys see making it to the World Series?
I do first want to say that it might not be realistic, but a New York versus New York Subway Series World Series would be absolutely legendary. No one would ever think how much money would be in that box office. But going to more the realistic aspect, the Yankees versus Dodgers would be also a legendary World Series. They're both great teams. They both captured their NL title and AL titles. So it would be an American League versus a National League title champion holder. And you even got, which is probably going to be headlines, Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani. It's going to be the showdown between them. Ohtani's coming off of a 50-50 club win for himself with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. And Aaron Judge, like I said before, he almost had 60 home runs, almost breaking his own record. But overall, the Dodgers have an incredible lineup. The Yankees have a great lineup. It's definitely going to be a World Series down in the history books and the fight for a life.
Well, I'd definitely like to see the Phillies get back to where they were 2 years ago. Representing the National League. They kind of collapsed against the Diamondbacks last year, but they have all the ingredients to take it back. I know last 2 games have been pretty costly, but now going into New York, I think they have what it takes. Fans are hoping for a change in Los Angeles. I think it's going to be between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani in the Japanese NPB, he actually went 6 for 34 in the playoffs overall and didn't have any home runs. So that was obviously a lot of years ago, but you put into perspective, postseason experience, not great. So, and he went 0 for 4 in the last game. I think it's a bit too much overhyped because we've seen all these guys play, doing great things in the MLB during the regular season, things you'd never seen before, 50-50 club making club of his own. But I said at the start of the year about the Dodgers, heavy favorites to win the World Series back in March, that I wouldn't start watching this team until October because it seems to be, they go through the rinse cycle every single year, times a flat circle in Los Angeles, until the Dodgers actually make a change and have a team effort put together where the stars actually come together and their egos don't clash. I think that will make for a great World Series run.
I have to say that I think Subway Series World Series would be legendary. It would be a must-watch. But But realistically, I have to agree with you, Brian. I think it's going to be the Phillies and Yankees coming out on top. Plenty of baseball to be played, and a lot can change between now and October 25th. But for now, that's all we have on MLB Postseason. For Isabella, Sposato, and Bryan Portney, I'm Maya Bieling. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind the scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.